The sell-off that we're seeing, the volatility that we're seeing, is it all related to will he or won't he when it comes to tariffs?
100%. And not only about tariffs, right? I mean, there's so many announcements done. Do we not need Congress to approve any of them? Like, I feel like the market is asking from one extreme of the pendulum, we are moving to the other extreme of the pendulum. Now we have strategic reserves, now like not only for Bitcoin, but a lot of other currencies which people were not expecting. We are saying maybe expectedly no capital gains at all, like no taxes if you hold it for more than 1 year. I think it is amazing. These are all the dream bites which every crypto holder for last 10 years wanted. Are we really going to go through all this stuff, and how much changes to that does really entangle?
Well, let's go back to the reserve for a moment here, because there has been so much debate, a lot of skepticism, even from the crypto community, particularly those who believe in Bitcoin the most, of what the purpose of the reserve is, why these other tokens are involved. Explain what this does from the perspective of the American economy, an American citizen. Why would they want this to happen?
100%. Like, coming from a traditional World Bank IFC background, like if you have a petroleum reserve, if you have commodities like gold and silver reserves, yes, in case of a war, in case of, God forbid, something really bad happens, you can use that to have some value to American people. I mean, I do believe in crypto. I'm a holder for 10 years, but I don't understand how does reserve solve that problem in case everything really disappears on this earth.
So you're not in favor of some sort of strategic crypto reserve?
I just don't understand the value. And even
I think critics would say the value is people who have crypto make more money because it's a supply and demand question.
But it's not about the people who have
But it's not about people. Like, we are already making more money.
I think critics might say that it is about people.
Taxpayer.
But I mean, that's certainly one view. But I think a cynic might say, well, who's had access to the president? People who have a lot of these assets, they want the value of those assets to go up. And one way to do that is for the U.S. government to buy those assets.
So if that is the definition of creating a reserve, absolutely right, then there should be a pharmaceutical reserves. There should be a lot of, like, all the lobbies can create their own reserves. I'm very happy that there is a crypto reserve, right? But if you really ask me fundamentally, econometric-wise, does it make sense? I don't see it, because we are still in a very volatile atmosphere with cryptocurrency. They have not found plus minus 10% like any other commodity. On top of that, Bitcoin and ETH, when you have a lot of other currencies which did not even have their ETF approval.
You're a bull on some of those currencies as well.
Yes, as a trader, yes.
The risk that those currencies do not work out or they do not grow as fast, what kind of risk does that pose for America if there is a reserve that includes them?
Yeah, it's a basket, right? And you suddenly have two AAA standards, Bitcoin and ETH, and then you have baskets of other currencies which are still developing. And then on top of that news, what I see next is World Financial Liberty Reserves have SUI and like a bunch of other stuff. So for me, it's a bit of a confusion. Something which you just said, Tim, whom are we serving here? How are we serving them? And on top of that, what about the Congress? Do they get to say and approve it, or is it going to be a presidential judgment?
Ultimately, does this hurt the space?
I think not in a short term, but you can already see the lack of confidence, because everything right is happening with respect to optics, but the market does not have liquidity. People are not putting their money in, and actually I think we are suffering because exactly as I said, the pendulum has moved so far that is it even real? Is it going to be sustainable? Are we going to stick to it? I mean, even we are thinking about it.